Should we have an intro?
This is our podcast intro.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Hits Podcast. My name is Oscar. This is my sister, Sophia. This is our podcast. It's called the Hits Podcast. HTS, no I. If you will notice, Sophia is in a bathtub.
Speaking of my bathtub, I moved to Minnesota for a job. And I got a couple stories to tell you guys about the whole moving process. But first and foremost, most importantly, the bathtub, right? Bruh, it's so big. Like,
Oh, I was gonna say, what the fuck do you have to say about a bathtub, bro? It's a bathtub. Who cares?
Listen, I can extend my legs all the way, and I won't touch the other wall. Like, I can lay in it.
Where'd you go?
Right? It's so long. And I was sitting here thinking, I was like, fuck yeah, score. Right? I got a big ass bathtub, and the rent is not so crazy. I have to be you know what? It's so high because of that bathtub. Real nice bathtub, right? And then I realized it's because there's just a bunch of tall people here. This is a normal ass bathtub. No, yes, because there's been several things like the toilets. My feet dangle, you know. Just kidding, they don't dangle, but
I was like, what the fuck?
no. But before in El Paso, I used to be able to plant my whole foot on the floor. Now it's like this, you know.
I've noticed the toilets in the bathrooms at our parents' house are kind of small. Like the ones in my apartments are bigger.
No,
when
but
I go sit on those.
Yeah, but that's because I think that's I don't think that's our parents' house thing. I think that's an El Paso thing.
I thought it was more of these toilets are newer.
I thought it was a height thing, a cultural thing. But yeah, it's so
Bro.
spacious. What?
I was gonna be like, bro, when was the last time you were at an elementary school?
When was the last time?
Because the toilets are all fucking tiny little kid toilets. You know what I mean? The Jim Jeffries bit where he talks about how the toilets are all fucking tiny, and then he goes and takes a shit on the tiny little toilet.
I'm a giant Kate.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna get at. But then when I thought to immediately say, when was the last time you were at an elementary school? That sounds a little too nonchalant.
When was the last time
you
were at an elementary school?
You know what I mean?
Suspicious. No, I think the last time.
Probably when I picked up our cousin one time because he was feeling sick or something, and his mom was like, "Hey, can you go pick him up?" And I was like, "Where?" And she was like, "Far as fuck." And I was like, "Okay."
Oh yeah, because it's in the west side, you know.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
That's another thing. We were talking about Sofia being Mexican and saying things in Spanish and thinking she's exotic. She says que no for no fucking reason. Anyways.
That was so rude. Speaking of being Mexican, me and Mom went to a breakfast place today. Guess what it was called?
Oscars.
No. Perkins.
Roscoe's. Oh. Who cares? Fuck that guy.
Oh, are we in this stage of your emotional feelings towards Perkins? Have we moved on to
for people that don't know, Perkins is my former roommate, ex-best friend.
Former lover.
Ex other things. He's an accountant.
Nobody asks what you do when you say you're an accountant. Anyways, we went there, right? And we were eating breakfast, right? And there was some dude across from Mom. It's like an L.
Can I interrupt really quick?
No.
Just really quick.
No.
I promise, just really quick.
No.
I already did, so you might as well let me. What you just did right now, where you were we were eating breakfast. I've noticed that we do that, and this is the type of thing. Sorry, I've been thinking a lot lately about if people are gonna find us funny, or if I've been kind of hitting one of those you know how you kind of go through ups and downs when you make content. I've been hitting one of those downs where I think all of our content sucks, and I start to question whether or not it's funny or not, or whether or not people are gonna like it.
Rude. Because I'm fucking hilarious.
But then I think to myself, fuck you. That was funny. I think to myself, I think sometimes I maybe don't realize how funny we are or how funny people might find us, because the way we talk is so fucking normal and so routine within us and within our family that we don't even laugh at it anymore. But shit like that where you're we were eating breakfast. There's a story, if you go 2 weeks ago, where I'm talking about being in LA or something. I did the exact same thing where I was like, so I went, I fucking ordered this, ate that shit, nom, 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 nom. And then I'd like continue on with the story with our little fucking animated, nom, nom, nom. Like that type of stupid shit that we do. Like we initially started doing that because we thought it was funny, and then it just became so routine and habit that like now it's just whatever. But it's still goofy, weird shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
anyways, it like I remembered. But go ahead. You were at Perkins restaurant.
I was at Perkins restaurant, right? And it's like a little L. Me and mom were in this booth. Some other people were in this booth. Now, as we might have mentioned a couple times, we are Mexican, right? Us less so than our parents. Where I moved, Minnesota, our neighbors to Canada. And I don't know how much you guys know about Canada, but they're really white. Caucasian. Whatever.
I'm so like, where is she gonna go with this? This is gonna be bad. Like,
No. So, this restaurant we're in, there's like maybe one other table there. It's like pretty full, and there's maybe one other table there that's like of the minority, right? And we're at this L, and there's these people, and there's mom. I'm sitting at the back of the L, mom's facing the L, right? And like I keep seeing her go like,
oh, I finally figured out what story you're telling. I'm like, what the fuck is? Where's this going?
Yeah. So turns out there was this white guy who was looking at mom, mad dogging her, like, and she noticed, but at first she was just like, until finally she was like, and I did, like, I saw her like do the glances, but I thought she was just looking around because I was like, yeah, I'm looking around too, like, right, like.
You should try looking that way. There's some cool stuff over there.
Yeah. Until I realized she was looking because someone was like mad dogging her, and then I was like, Mom, what are you doing? And she's like, some guy keeps staring at me, so I'm staring back at him. And she was like, and then I turned around because I'm a Beppa, I'm nosy, and I was like, and I turned around, and sure enough, that guy was staring at Mom, and then I started staring, and then he noticed I was staring too, and then he went back to eating his eggs, and then I turned back, and I saw Mom do it a couple more times, and then they left. But yeah. Anyways.
It's just weird. I'm sure people will find it amusing. That's the type of shit where, like, I don't know, like in my head, it's still crazy to me that, like, I almost still find it hard to believe that there are real people that really do stare at people of different races. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so foreign a concept to me because of where we grew up, because it's nothing but Mexicans.
I think
we never really dealt with that kind of shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think because of where we grew up, and also the places that you have moved to, both Phoenix and LA, are like they're
nah
diverse.
Even then, because that's what I'm
I mean?
leading into. Yes, but I don't think it nullifies. I don't think it's a good point. Because, like, when we went to Phoenix, this is exactly what I was leading into. There was one point, like, the first time we went to Costco, me and my two former roommates, all three Mexicans, all three of us in our, like, early to mid 20s, right? If I say early 20s, I know Sophia's going to correct me.
Yeah, because he's not. No, but
bro,
I saw
a post earlier. I was 24. That's still mid 20s. I saw a post earlier where it was, like, the year you were born and how old you are. And it was, like, 2006, 18, 2007, 19, 2008, 20. And it kept going until like until 2000, and it said 24. And then it was like 1999, pushing 30, 1998, pushing 30, 1996, pushing 30.
Pushing 30.
It was like 1995, basically dead. And I can't stop seeing posts that keep calling my generation old.
It's because you
and
keep
I'm like,
looking
fuck
at it.
You guys. No, I don't like it or anything. I fucking get away. But anyways, I digress, Sophia. We were there, the three of us in our 20s, Mexicans, right? And we went to Costco and we got a bunch of shit. And we go up to the register, and right away, this lady comes up and she was like, what's up? Do you guys have your membership card? Which they ask you for your... Here's the thing. We went to the self-checkout. In the self-checkout, there's a line. You're in the line, and then like when you get to the front of the line, they ask you for your card. You show the picture, and then they let you go to the actual register, right? So we had already been in line. We already showed them the card with the picture, and it was when we were at the register where that lady came up to us, and she was like, what's up? You guys got a membership? And we were kind of like, yeah, bitch, like, they already checked our shit at the thing. That's how we got here.
Duh.
And she was like, all three of you have a membership? And we were like, nah, me and him have it. he doesn't have it technically, like the membership's under our name.
Yeah.
And she was like, do you have the card? And I was like, I have the card. He doesn't have the card right now. He's not on the membership. She's like, okay, well, only you can pay. And I was like, okay. And she was like, only you can pay. You guys can't pay. You can pay, and you have to scan your card. You can pay. And I was like, okay.
Okay.
She literally said it like 2 or 3 times where she kept reiterating, like she was kind of expecting it to piss us off. And I was like, yeah, okay, like I'll pay. And I paid for everyone's shit, and then they sent me money. And then she was like, yeah, okay, I'll scan all this for you. And then she like beep 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 beep, beep scans all the shit. And then as soon as she left, but as soon as she left, she scanned all the shit and she was like, okay, only you pay. And I was like, and then she left. And then immediately my 2 former roommates were like, fucking racist bitch, what the fuck? And this is the thing, this was right after we moved there. This was like within the first month of us moving. It was literally the first time we went to Costco to like buy a bunch of shit because we were new and the fridge was empty and shit.
Wow. Yeah.
And they were like, fucking racist bitch, the fuck? And like, and nobody else is like, if there's big shit, like cases of water underneath or this or that, they'll usually come by and they'll scan that shit. But she was scanning like every single little thing that we had. And we didn't have that many big things that needed the scan gun. You know what I mean? Where it was like unreasonable of us to have to fucking put it on the thing for every single one of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so immediately they were like, and for me, the point that I'm getting to with all this is that like, I genuinely don't default to like, racist bitch. I'm just like, bitch. You know what I mean? To where they were like, fucking racist, what the fuck? And I was like, I don't know, I just thought she was a bitch. Like, she's not the first one. And then later, I was telling my dad that story, and as soon as I said, this lady came up to us, blah, 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 she was like, she just saw 3 young Mexicans, and of course she was all of them, and I was like, that's what they said. Like,
that's what they said, stupid.
So shit like that. And then there was another time we went to a diner.
Another time?
Yeah, there was another time we went to a diner, and then it was me, my 2 former roommates, and my cousin. Now, my cousin was all fucked up because that's how he's an alcoholic and he gets all fucked up, like stupid.
Very
fucked
sad.
Up. And the rest of us, we don't drink.
He's the family
so then
shame.
we were all.
Just kidding.
If he ever sees this and he sees you say that, it's genuinely gonna hurt him.
I'm
and it's great.
Kidding.
It's great. I fucking love it. I'm gonna focus on that part so he can hear it. You know why? Because he thinks you're like a fucking princess. That's like the kindest, sweetest soul ever. I used to constantly tell him she's a fucking dickhead, bro. Like, you don't know her. She's an asshole. Like, you guys think she's this delicate, dainty, beautiful flower, and I'm this fucking fat kid that comes and steps on her for no reason. Like, no, she's a dickhead.
It's for a reason.
And
I'm still a delicate, dainty flower. Okay.
So he was all fucked up, right? We were all just chilling. We were all gonna go out to eat. It was like super late, and we were like, let's go to this diner, right? So we went, whatever, we get inside. Okay, here's your table, whatever. It was like a local place. And so we get there, and right away I have to go to the restroom. So I was like, I'm gonna go to the restroom. So I go, and I come back, and I'm sitting there, and my cousin who's all drunk, he's literally sitting in the booth, and he's like this, like very much so, like paranoid and shit. And then I was kind of looking around, and all 3 of them kind of looked like they just like, they weren't really looking at the menu, and they weren't really like talking a whole lot, and they were kind of just like being fucking weirdos. And I was like, so what's up? What are you guys gonna get? And then my cousin, who was all fucked up, was like, I'm not hungry. And I'm like, the fuck? Like, since when? And then my cousin, who was my roommate, was like, I don't know, like, I'd rather go to Denny's. Which, he's the type, like, if he wants to go to one place and everybody else wants to go elsewhere, he kind of doesn't let go of that one place. Like, he still just wants to go to that one place, and he's not very on board with doing what the group wants to do. You know what I mean? Like, he'll continue to advocate for that place. So I thought it was just that kind of thing where he was still throwing a last-ditch effort of, like, I still say, fuck this place, let's go over there. Which was.
And your former paramour? What did he say?
And my former accountant roommate, right? He was kind of just like, I don't know, man.
His
like,
personal accountant.
He was like, he was like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'm going to get anything. And then I was kind of like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, why the fuck are we here? So-and-so. I think the accountant was the only one that had said he wasn't really going to eat anything initially, but the three of us were still going to eat. So then I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what are you
How
guys
did we
talking
go
about?
from A to Z?
And
Yeah.
yeah, and the drunk one, he was like, yo, like, you guys want to go to Denny's? My cousin was like, yeah. And then the other one was like, yeah, like, we can go to Denny's. And I was like, what the fuck are you?
What happened
Yes,
while I
whatever.
was in the restroom?
And then we leave and we get in the car and they were like, did you see that shit? And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you guys are acting like fucking weirdos. What are you talking about? See what? What? And then my cousin was all fucked up. She's like, bro, I felt like I was in Get Out. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then all of them were like, dude,
Yeah.
everybody in the restaurant was staring at us. And the drunk one was like, everyone in the restaurant was staring at us. And that it was a bunch of old Caucasian people and that they were kind of like giving them the side eye. And he was like, everybody in the restaurant like kept looking at us and kept like staring at us. And then I kind of dismissed him like, you drunk moron. Right?
But then
Drunk,
the other two were
paranoid,
like,
whatever.
yeah.
But then I was like, nah. And then they were like, no, yeah, they were like for real. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't even notice that shit. Like,
I think the
and then-
story
and
is
then-
just saying Oscar has bad spatial awareness.
I don't know. Anyways, we went to Denny's. It was pretty cool. But
No one stared.
that my original point is like, I don't know. It's not like a thing that I'm very like
Aware of.
aware of. Ooh, can I tell another story? I don't know if you had another story, but I think I have a story that's kind of.
I got plenty of stories, but go for it.
Speaking of Denny's, right? There was a Denny's by when I was a kid. My parents were separated. The house that my dad used to stay in, there's a Denny's by that house. So there were times we would go to that Denny's like every so often, like somewhat regularly. Not regularly, but not uncommonly, right? And my dad, it's been a running joke or a running like theme in our family to make jokes about having herpes for like everything, right? So like if I have a drink and Sophia's like, ooh, can I have some? I'm like, nah, I don't want your fucking
I want
herpes.
your
Like, get
herpes.
away from me, right?
Mhm.
That became a thing because my dad used to always tell me that shit. Because I used to always want a drink of his drink wherever we were. And he was, or like whatever we were doing, I was like, oh, can I have some? Like, I'm thirsty. Can I have some? Can I have some? And he was like, why do you always want to have some of my drink? And I'm like, I'm fucking thirsty.
Thirsty.
And he was like, how do you know I don't
Have
have,
your own
how
drink.
do you know I don't have herpes? How do you know I don't have herpes? And I'm like, what the fuck is herpes?
Herpes.
Because I was like 8.
What is
right?
that?
I
Yeah.
had no idea. And he was just like, go get your own drink. And he would always kind of like give me a hard time about having his drink or sharing his drink, right? So one time I was like 8 or 9 and we were at Denny's and he was like, I was there and I was like, oh, can I have some of your water or some of your whatever? And he was like, no, motherfucker, you have your own, or like just get a refill or whatever. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, I forget you have the herpes. and according to him, I fucking
Said it
announced it
loud.
to the whole fucking Denny's. And I was like, oh yeah, I forget you have herpes. Like all leaning over and stretching and shit. And he was like, shut the fuck up. And I was like, what? Like you always
You
say
say
that.
that
Like,
you
and I think at that age, I didn't realize that it was a joke where he was like, nah, I have herpes, like you're gonna get the herpes. You know what I mean? So I was just kind of like, yeah, you have herpes, whatever that
you
is.
just took it for
I can't have some of
reality.
your water. You know what I
That's
mean?
so funny.
And then it became even more of a thing after that, where like we just do that all the time. Like, like you know how, I don't know if it was a thing for you, and I don't know if it was a thing for the audience, but back in like 2015, 2016 ish, you know how Ebola was like the fucking all the rage and shit.
Yeah.
It became a thing where any sense of anytime anything was gross for any reason, it was Ebola, right? So like if someone sneezed, you'd be like, "Oh, bitch, you're gonna give me Ebola," right? And it was that kind of like,
maybe a slightly more relatable one. Anytime anyone coughed, like a couple years ago, it's like, oh, you're gonna give me COVID.
yeah, it's probably an easier one for everybody to follow, right? But anyways,
Maybe.
that kind of thing where you attribute or you like tie the disease to every single disgusting thing. Our family has done that forever with herpes. So like as soon as someone like shares your drink, as soon as someone has a weird like little mark on their lip, as soon as someone like any fucking anything, we're like, oh, you got the herpes? Oh, you got herpes? Get away from me. Or like if someone like coughs, it's like, oh, you're gonna give me herpes, right? So my cousin that I mentioned earlier that I picked up from school one time, he was coughing.
No.
We were in the living room and we were all just chilling, and we would always make jokes with him, and we would always like do stupid things, and then he would do it because he was that type of kid, and then his mom would get mad, and that was the best part. And so like there was one time where he was coughing, he was like running around outside, and it was kind of cold, and we were like, nah, get inside, you're gonna get sick. And then we're like, you're gonna get the herpes. And his mom was like, don't say that shit, because he's gonna say it at school and get in trouble. That's
Yeah.
the best part. But anyways, I lied about the mom getting mad being the best part. The best part is he says that at school, right? So he was outside running around playing, and he comes back inside. They're like, nah, come inside. You're going to get sick. You don't have a jacket, whatever, whatever. He comes inside, and he fucking... oh, I'm getting the herpes.
No.
And he was like, how fucking
He
old
was
is he?
so
Like 7?
serious.
He was like
Yeah.
5. I was
At the
still living in El
time.
Paso. So this was like 2 years ago.
This
He
was like a while
5.
ago. Yeah.
He fucking...
Oh,
I'm getting the herpes.
That's so funny.
It was so fucking funny. It was
That's
so funny.
hilarious. Because he's like, it's probably him. It's like, I got a cough. Got the herpes. Like, that's funny.
But that exactly in that same theme of like any disease, any sickness, any germ is herpes, right?
Yeah. So, I have a moving out story that I have been waiting for like a month. Probably over a month at this point. No, about a month to tell you.
Moving out.
So you better get this party started.
Bro.
What?
Are you
What?
doing that on purpose? Because that's what you did the last time I fucking referenced that song? Or are you that fucking like, that much of a fucking caveman that you naturally drew that association again? Because like,
is it the wrong
15
song?
episodes ago, we mentioned moving out, and I said, "Cause I'm moving out," and I went like that, and then you went, "We better get this party started," and I put it into one of the clips on one of the posts.
Oh, it's I'm coming out, not I'm moving out.
Yeah, that's what I told you at that time.
Coming out, so you better get this party started. I'm coming out.
Yeah, you really
I'm
did
coming.
just like word associate again.
I'm sorry. Anyways,
It's okay. It's not like I didn't do it.
I've been
Like,
waiting
before
for like a month to tell you the story.
that. Okay,
So
tell the story.
I had an interview in Minnesota, right? For the job. They flew me out, and I was like, and I decided to stay a couple days because the interview went well. I was gonna tour apartments because like I don't live. Well, now I live here, but I didn't then. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to have to like, right? Anyways, so I was like, just in case, right? Spoiler alert, I got the job. Anyways, and I'm touring, right? And there's this one place, these one apartment places, where it was like sister complexes, right? And the first one we went to wasn't really shit. And you could already tell, like, the outside, it didn't, the place I have, there's a lot of underground parking or like basement parking, right? Because it snows a lot. And so a lot of the complexes that I've toured had that. And so this one didn't even have that, had only above ground parking. So right away, and me and my mom's mind, because my mom was with me, because it's the first like apartment that I'm gonna own myself, that I own myself, because I already own it. Anyways,
She's moving out of her parents' house.
yeah, and right away, me and mom were both like, "This is a no-go. Above ground parking in the elements, right? Gross." And then we go to this one. He's like, "Hey, welcome in, guys. Whatever. Let me show you this apartment we have." And then he goes to like this apartment, opens the door, and he's like, "Oh, wait." And he like starts walking in, and then he stops. He's like, "Oh, wait, I forgot actually. This isn't the one that's going to be yours. The one that's going to be yours is upstairs." And like me and mom were like, not like, it's fine. Like we can go, like we could see this one. Like, we'll just know it's not going to be on this floor. He's like, nah, it's fine. And we go upstairs. And then he knocks on the door, right? And we thought we heard someone say something, but we weren't too sure. He's like, "Wait, I think I heard someone say something." And we were like, "Someone? There's someone in the apartment?" And he knocks again, right? No one says anything. He's like, "All right." Gets his little keys, starts unlocking the apartment, right? And then he opens it and he's like, "Oh, sorry, man. I thought it was empty." And then some other person saying something and we can't hear him because we're still like not in the apartment. And he's like, "No, yeah, like I texted you about how there's gonna be an apartment tour today in your apartment. Whatever, whatever, whatever. Is it cool if we come in?" Or no, he doesn't even ask that. He's like, "I forgot that I was like, yeah, I texted you, remember? About the apartment tour, whatever, whatever. It's today. They're here. Come on in, guys." And then me and mom start walking into the apartment. And then he turns to look at the guy and he's like, "Do you want us to take our shoes off?" And the guy says yes. And so
You guys had
now,
to take your fucking shoes off to tour an apartment that people were still living in?
yes.
What the fuck is going on? Just go to the other
So-
one.
Exactly. There was no one in the other one. He opened it all the way. It was empty. We saw. You know what I mean? And so already we're just like, what the fuck? And mom's like, "You know what? It's all good. I'm going to stay like in the hall. I'll leave this one up to you," because she was wearing boots. That's not why. I think she would have done that regardless. But her whole thing was like, "I'm wearing boots and it's annoying to take them off. Like, you got this." And I was like, okay. And then I go in and it's so messy. It's like, and I'm
It's
saying
fucking-
it's messy. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, you guys don't understand.
I'm a messy person in general, you know? But I feel like with my mess, I'm a clothes everywhere messy person, not a food everywhere messy person. At least not anymore. There was a point where I was, but I'm not anymore. I've grown. Anyways, it was messy is my point. And I feel bad and I look around and I'm just like, "Hi." Because like the dude's just looking at me and I'm like, "Hi, sorry." He's like, no, it's fine. Like, look around. And he's like bending down to like try and like clean up real quick. And this poor guy, I see him picking up his underwear off of the floor. And I was like, I didn't see that. I promise you, I saw nothing. You know what I mean? And I'm pretending like I'm not seeing anything, right? And I look in the kitchen, pots, pans everywhere, dishes everywhere, to-go containers everywhere. I look, he's studying something. Papers are everywhere. Pencils are everywhere. Clothes are everywhere. And then the guy that I'm touring with is like, go, look around. Like, feel free type of thing. And I was like,
Make yourself at home.
Yes, basically. And I was like, and so then I go to the bedroom real quick and I just kind of like step in and like I peek in the closet to make it look like I'm interested or whatever, but like without like fully invading this guy's space. And then I go back to the like common area and then there's like a closet because that's another thing. All of these apartments have like closets. All the apartments that we toured have closets, like big closets for like your snow jackets and shit. Anyways, that was the cleanest room in the apartment. So like I like went in there, I like looked, and then the dude started talking to me and I'm like, oh my God. Because in all of these tours, like they were like talking like a lot. They're like, "Oh, this is what we have, this is blah, blah, blah," right? And they always stay in the apartment forever while they're telling us this. I was like, so if we're gonna do that, let's do that in the cleanest room so he feels the least self-conscious, because I don't know. And so I go in and I'm like, "Oh, these dryers are nice. That's a nice coat rack. Nice floor. Nice color on the wall." And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "I think I saw what I needed to see with this apartment." And he's like, "Are you sure? Like, you can look around." I'm like, "No, I'm good." And then like I like go and I'm going, and thankfully the shoes that I had that day though were like super easy to just like, you know what I mean? But it was weird. I wasn't barefoot. I had socks on, but I was socked footed in some random ass guy's apartment, and this guy clearly didn't remember that like we were being toured. You know what I mean? And I was like, "Bye, thank you, I'm sorry." Literally just like that. And then I dip. And I'm just like, and me and my mom are looking at each other like, what? Like, did that just fucking happen? Like, did that just happen? And that guy stayed in there for like a little longer, just talking to the dude like, "Oh yeah, thanks man, whatever." And they're just chatting for a little bit before he leaves. And he locks the door again with his keys. And he's like, all right, let's go look at the gym or whatever. And we're just like, cool. Like, fucking,
All nonchalant.
all nonchalant. Like, super.
Bro, I knew people that don't wear shoes in their house were crazy. I recently saw some video that mentioned it or something, and all of the people in the comments were losing their minds about how you're disgusting if you wear shoes inside and you bring in all the germs from outside and all the dog shit and the piss and the this and the that. And I'm like, where the fuck do you people live where every time you step out of your house, you're fucking stepping in dog shit? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I think it's a bit of a germophobia thing.
Yeah.
But then it's shit like that where it's like, oh yeah, that guy took his shoes off. He was real fucking clean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I mean,
No.
this is a stupid. The whole shoe thing is a stupid argument to have, and like, no one's changing my mind, and I'm not changing anyone else's. But like,
No, I don't want to. That's not what I want to take away from this video. What I want to take away is what a shitty landlord. And also, like,
nah, people that take off their shoes are weird.
no, because I take off my shoes. Anyways, like normally I would have.
Yeah, you're disgusting, bro. I was literally.
Anyways,
I
no,
was
no, no,
just
no,
watching the episode earlier today where I call you disgusting. Like,
that's so rude. But anyways, no, no, and like I was like, dude, you should have just showed us the empty one because like one, it shows that you have keys just to our apartments, which like I mean naturally, but like the fact that you just like went in while that dude was still there, and not only that, but was like, all right, we're coming in. I told you. Which means you are liable to do that with me at some point. You know what I mean? And I'm like, that's not okay. Like,
that's what I was thinking. As soon as you were saying all
I'm
this,
not
I was like,
okay
oh my
with
God,
that.
Sophia, I would
Like,
fucking lose her mind if this happened.
I
to her.
would
Like,
lose my fucking mind.
she
I
would
would
fucking shit herself.
Mm-mm. No, no, no. But yeah, I've been keeping that one in for a while. You know how hard it was to not tell you that story? Yeah. I felt so bad. I felt so bad. I was like, you don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. But we're here. We are. Here we are.
So hey, you guys want to see Sophia get pissed?
Oh no.
I'm gonna take that as a yes. You know what Sophia mentioned? I wasn't. So this is the week after Thanksgiving. So I was just in town for Thanksgiving, and now I'm gonna bring up something that we talked about when I was in town for Thanksgiving, right? While I was there. Sophia mentioned something, and I think it's actually a very valid complaint or like opinion to have. Sophia was like, coming soon signs should have like a time limit.
Yes! Oh my god! Yes! Listen. Okay, where I used to live in El Paso, right? Where like the place I lived is like developing fairly like rapidly, like more. You know what I mean? Because we live kind of like in the outskirts of El Paso. And so like they got some Starbucks up now. They have what's it called? An Albertsons opening December 6th. You know how I know it's December 6th? Because they, like Good Samaritans, have their opening date on there, right? And then there was a ramen shop, Yamaguchi Ramen. The sign came up with another sign below it saying, opening soon. You know how long it's been opening soon? For like over a month at least. Okay. And when I first saw it, I was like, oh, I am so excited. It should open before I leave because it's like over a month already. You know, it should open before I leave.
She was hoping to
and
be
I'm
able
so
to try it
excited.
before she left, and she wasn't.
And I'm so excited because, right, the only ramen places that the only ramen places in general that were good were like all in the west side or like downtown, which is like 45. It's far from where I live, like a 45-minute drive type of far. You know what I mean? And so I was like, ooh, I hope it's good. I'm so excited to try it. You know what it still was when I left? It was still coming soon. It didn't come out yet. Which is so rude.
Sophia was all fucking complaining. We drove by it. And here's the funny thing. I'm going to be back in El Paso next weekend, like 2 weeks after when I was originally there. And I was telling her, I was like, I'm going to be back for Celeste's shit. and it's gonna be open, and me and Celeste are gonna go, and you're gonna be in Minnesota, and you're not gonna be able to. And then she was all complaining. She was like, "Coming soon signs should have a time limit. Like you're not allowed to put that
Yes.
fucking sign up unless it's coming
Yes.
within 3 weeks or some shit." Like
Yes. And I stand by it. I stand on
Honestly,
that shit.
I don't give a shit about your feelings towards this ramen shop right now in this particular situation, but the general idea of you should not be allowed to put a coming soon sign up unless it's within 3 weeks or unless like it has a date.
It's a
I agree
genius
with that because
idea.
that shit's annoying
Thank you.
as fuck.
Thank you. How long are you able? How long are you able to be coming soon? You know what I mean?
How long is soon?
It's not fair.
How soon is soon?
How long is soon?
Soon is soon.
How soon is soon?
So hurry the fuck up.
Soon is soon. Exactly. You know what? I'm gonna look up on the interweb. Just kidding, no. But yeah,
You know
I'm
what's
so
hilarious,
upsetty
too?
spaghetti.
I don't
I'm
think I
so
told you this story.
upsetty spaghetti about it.
I
What?
don't think I've told you this story. So I got a haircut. I don't know if you guys saw it earlier when I had the other headphones on, but like
Woo!
I cut off a lot of the sides of my hair and the back and shit, right? So my cousin Coco, the one who used to be on the little mask that was up here,
But he
and she
hates her,
came
so
out for a little bit.
he's gone. She's gone now.
No, she's up there actually, up there.
Oh,
Anyways, my cousin Coco, she's a cosmetologist, licensed and everything, right? So she does nails and she cuts hair. Her boyfriend is a barber, so he cuts hair too. So he's cut my hair before, and I hadn't gotten a haircut in a long time, and I wanted to like cut all my hair off, and so then I kind of hit him up when I was in town, and I was like, "Hey, do you think you can cut my hair, Coco, or do you think your boyfriend could cut my hair?" And she was like, "Yeah, for sure." And
for
then
show.
whatever. I go to get a haircut, right? He's cutting my hair. We're talking about LA. We're talking about TikTok. Whatever. He cuts my hair, right? Afterwards, he needed a ride to Coco's house, which was like 5 minutes away. And my parents were coming to pick me up like a child because I didn't have a car because I flew in. I didn't rent a car or anything. Like they picked me up from the airport and everything, right? So they came to pick me up. And then I was like, yo, can we take him to Coco's house? My cousin's house, my aunt's house that I go to all the time. It's like down the street. And they were like, yeah, for sure. And so then we get in the car and I was like, oh yeah, how much is the haircut? Like how much you charge me? And he
How
was
much
like,
do I owe
20
ya?"
bucks. Yeah, it was like 20 bucks. Like that's what he normally
That's-
charges at this point in time. And I was like, and I get the cash and I fucking get 220s and I give him 220s. And he was like, he got it and he was like, and he counted both of them and he very slowly like, that's 120. That's a second 20. And then he
Where's
kind of
my
like looked
tip,
at me like,
bitch?
motherfucker, he said 20 bucks and I give him 40. And then he kind of looked at me
Oh
like,
yeah.
he
Not
was like,
barely realizing that.
you fucking idiot. Anyways, he counted
220s.
120. He saw the other 20 and then he kind of looked at me like, and he was like, there's two of them here. And
Did
I was
you
like,
mean these
yeah.
were tens? Like,
And I was like, yeah, bro, you're good. Like, yeah, you got it. And he
Buy
was
yourself
like,
something nice.
and I was like, well, 20 for the haircut, and then the rest is just the tip. And he was like, nah, like you don't have to do that. Like that's cool. And I was like, nah, you're good. And he was kind of like all smiley, like, not for real, like, oh, like all fucking touched and like
Thanks.
heartfelt and
Yeah.
shit. And
Yeah.
then I was like, that's my mom's money, bro. I don't know what the fuck you smiling at me for.
Stupid. You're so dumb. Was it
Because-
actually?
Yes, but
Oh my
hold on.
god. Child.
Because I don't carry cash. I fucking hate cash. So she had cash in the car because she carries cash. So when they had initially dropped me off, I was like, "Yo, let me get some of that cash." And then if they take card, I'll pay with the card. If they don't, if they only take cash, I'll pay with the cash. I'll pay you back. So then we had
Yeah.
already gone back, and he took cash or Cash App, and so I didn't have Cash App, so I just gave him the cash. So then I was like, I don't know what you're smiling at me for. I was like, don't smile at me, bro. That's my mom's money. And then everybody kind of laughed, and I was like, he was like, for real? And I was like, yeah, it actually is. And then he kind of looked like, what the fuck? And I was like, I'm gonna pay her back, but technically it is her money. And then I sent mom $40 and like
That's
whatever.
funny.
But it was fucking hilarious. I was like, don't smile at me.
Don't smile at me. Him being like, you're just giving away her money. Like, that's funny. Oh. Was it actually? Yeah.
Anyways, another funny story from Thanksgiving weekend. Um, we don't normally do the whole like everybody sits down for Thanksgiving dinner, and then everybody goes around the table and asks everyone what they're thankful for, and then whatever, right? Um, who was it that suggested it this year? I think
Like
it was our
Oscar.
cousin. No, well, did he? Was he the one that started it initially? That was like, you guys didn't even say what you're thankful for.
Yeah. And then
It was
our
him.
cousin was like, yeah,
Yeah, let's do
say
it.
something.
Oh, I thought it was just our cousin. I was like, that bitch, she made us do it.
Stupid.
So, anyways, we had already started eating, and then my dad was like, "You guys didn't even say what you're thankful for," and then we're like, my cousin was like, "Yeah, let's do it," and then I kind of was like, "Ah, we have to do it," and then she was like, "Yeah, let's do it," and they were like, "You go," whatever, whatever. Everybody said whatever they said. The point of my story is, my dad. It gets around to my dad, right? And they're like, "All right, Big Oscar, what are you thankful for?" And my dad is like, what's the word?
I don't know.
This is what it is.
A
My
sentimental
dad,
fart.
no, my dad is Forrest, and my mom is Jenny. Jenny, is it Jenny or Jenny?
Jenny.
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 My dad is Forrest, and my mom is Jenny.
But like a better
And my
Jenny.
mom hates that comparison because my mom's like, because here's the thing. My dad has said before, he loves the movie Forrest Gump. Everybody loves the movie Forrest Gump, but one of the things he loves about it, he's like, I feel like I'm Forrest and you're my Jenny. And my mom ruins it because she's like, you're calling me a fucking crack whore? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And we're all like, oh my God, you're ruining the sentiment. Like, can you just take it the way he means it? Because then he explained, he's like, no, like, because no matter what Jenny did, no matter how long it had been, no matter where they went, no matter this, no matter that, she was the only one in Forrest's eyes, right? She was the only one that ever mattered to him. She was the only one he ever loved. She was the only this, the only that, whatever. And my dad will have you know, I don't mean to expose him here, but my dad will have you know that my mom is the only woman he's ever loved. And she ruins it because she doesn't believe him when he says that. I fucking believe him.
I believe him too.
You can ask him. And people have asked him before. Like my mom's sisters have asked him before. And my mom was like, no, there was some other girl that he loved her before he loved me, but then they broke up and whatever. And eventually we met and then we fell in love and whatever. And my dad's argument is like, no, I thought I loved that bitch. And then I met you.
You showed me
right
what real love is.
And my mom is like, nah.
Liar.
She always like dismisses it like you're full of shit. Right?
I don't believe it.
It's the fucking worst. It's so funny, but it's like it's so fucked too. So, anyways, my dad being all freaking sentimental and shit on Thanksgiving, we're like, what are you thankful for, Big O? And my dad is very much becoming this old, like, fuck those punk ass kids ass adult parent.
They're all gone anyways.
Where it's like they're all grown, they're all adults, they all live somewhere else. Fuck them. It's us, right? He and my mom. So they're like, what are you thankful for, Big O? And he's like, I'm thankful for Diana. And he like has this like little and my mom ruins it immediately. She's like, no. She fucking covers her eyes.
No. And she starts crying.
And we all started fucking laughing. And here's the thing. I feel like I know what my dad was gonna say. Because my dad's logic would be like, I'm thankful for Diana because she's my love, right? But also because she gave me my kids and I love them, but I couldn't have them without her. So that's where the gratitude is, right? I think that's where he would have gone with it because I like to think we're special too, right?
Nah.
But she immediately was
fake
like,
news.
oh no, and she started covering her face and like
she started crying.
Like, and we were like, oh no, he can't even fucking finish. Give you your flowers.
That's funny. But the funny thing, I think also what like cracked her, we were all in a line, right? And she was the last one to go, right? And he was second to last. And everyone else at the table, they were like, "Oh, I'm grateful," and like everyone listed her, because I was the first one to go. I was like, first and foremost, I'm grateful for my mom because she's been doing a lot to help with everything, whatever, and I'm grateful for my family and like all this stuff. I'm grateful, right? And like everyone was like, "Yeah, I'm grateful for my mom. I'm grateful for my tia." And then it got to him.
It's because she
And, like,
hosted and she cooked a lot too. So
Yeah.
it was like, it was
Yeah,
kinda
so
like,
everyone's like, yeah. And everyone was just grateful for her in general, because she does a lot. She's a great lady.
I guess.
But yeah. And then he went, and he's not usually super sentimental. He jokes around a bit. Like,
You're
not a bit,
supposed
he
to
jokes
laugh
around a
with
lot.
me, you fucking dickhead. Don't leave me alone in that. That was funny. You fucking asshole.
Anyways.
I'm just kidding,
And then
Mom,
it
you
gets
do
to our
do a lot.
dad. Who's like not usually sentimental. You know what I mean? He's very
He's
much
the
like
only one that said it with his fucking chest.
he said it, yeah, because when I went, I was first, right? And I just felt awkward because everyone was staring at me. I'm like, well, I'm grateful for my mom. And I kind of had it like that. But like him, it was very much, you know what it was like, Oscar? It was like a movie scene, right? Where there's like a big old stage. There's like a bunch of people everywhere. And like everyone, like I was talking to everyone when I was saying it. And I was looking at my mom. But he was just talking to mom. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a really good way to put it.
That's a great way of putting it.
Right? And so it just like
everybody
finally
else was
cracked
talking to the room.
to everyone. Yeah.
He was talking to Mom. That's a great way of putting it. That's so deep, Sophia. I didn't know you were so well articulate.
It's because I've moved to Minnesota and I have my own place now,
Stupid. Anyways, yeah, that shit was hilarious.
But yeah.
Jenny.
What I was gonna say though, it's so funny that Mom gets mad about Big Oscar calling her his Jenny, because
it's so funny,
Jenny,
but it's so not.
Wait, listen. Because Jenny's a crack whore, right? But she's like, nope. But you are Forrest, That's not the problem here. I'm not Jenny. Guys, I traveled from Texas to Minnesota with a cat. It was hard. Just kidding. No, Cyrus was such a good boy, Oscar. Like, he was very well behaved, and he would meow like every now and then. But like he would meow on takeoffs and landing.
Where is he? Let's see him.
Right now he's hiding under the couch.
He's been like stuck under there for like all day or what?
No.
What fucking couch?
Couch?
You took the living room couches. I forget.
My couch. Anyways,
I was like, did you guys buy a fucking couch today? But never mind. She took some of my parents' couches.
They're my couches. Anyways, besides the point. He
was
out
gonna
and
say
about.
You should bring him so he can make his first appearance on the podcast in Minnesota. But anyways.
Oh, I think it'll be annoying to get him from under the couch. I'm just gonna leave him. He was out and about earlier, but then I can't remember if it was me or Mom. I think it was Mom. She like did something and it was really loud, and then he got scared and then he went back under the couch. But he was like exploring. No, yeah, but he was very well behaved. But like the entire time, Oscar, because like I knew when I was gonna leave, I'm gonna take Cyrus. Like that's just a given, right? But then we were taking him, and I'm like, oh my god, am I uprooting his whole life? Like, is he gonna be traumatized from this? Like, you know what I mean? And now we're here, and it's cold, and like I'm like, and he's hiding under the couch, and I'm like, I'm sorry, and I feel bad. And both today and yesterday, because we landed yesterday, but today is the first day that we really, because my stuff didn't get here in the apartment until today, right? So yesterday we were in a hotel room, but both yesterday and today we had to spend most of our time outside of the hotel room getting stuff for the apartment, right? And the entire time I'm like, poor Cyrus, he's probably like, I'm alone in some foreign land. I don't know where I am. I don't know anybody here. What is happening? You know what I mean? And I felt really bad.
I feel you,
Cyrus. And Mom's like, stupid. And Mom's like, he'll be fine. Like, he'll adjust. Like, relax. And I'm like, what if he does it? And I'm just like, you know what I mean? And I've never felt more like a parent. Bam. The only upside is I don't think he's going to be very, because before we like left, he kept wanting to escape to the backyard, right? But I think even if he does escape to my balcony, he's not gonna want to stay there because it's cold. It's like super cold. Like you freeze your yiddies off kind of cold, you know? Nah, bruh, nah. This is like, think about the coldest it's ever been for winter in El Paso, and that's what it is now, right? But this is barely the beginning of winter. You know? Like, it's
I
not
think
even
we're gonna have
winter
a
yet.
horrible time on Christmas. By the way, we already made arrangements to go visit Sofia for Christmas, so we're gonna spend like the 20th through the 25th in Minnesota. We're gonna have a snowy Christmas for like the second time ever. It's gonna be weird.
No, yeah. Like tomorrow, no, yeah, because tomorrow the low, like the lowest is 6 degrees
Casually.
casually. And like I said, it's the beginning of Christmas. They say that they don't get like snow until fucking,
January.
yeah. And I'm like, I'm scared. This is scary.
Anyways, you need to make sure you take vitamin D3.
D3?
Yeah.
I don't know where to get that.
Just it's a vitamin supply. You can get it at any like vitamin store, any Whole Foods, anything like that. You can get on Amazon.
What's the vitamin
Anyways,
for?
it's the one that you make with the sun. You know how like when the sunlight hits you, you can make vitamin D.
Yeah.
If you're in the super cold all the time, you got to be super covered up. The sun's not hitting you. You're not making vitamin D, and it's very important. Anyways, let's wrap it up there.
Oh, and that's all. I'm freezing my yiddies off.
That's
my
all,
cat's
folks.
hiding under the couch.
Go see if you could get him just real quick, just so he can make an
Okay.
appearance.
Okay.
Bam, bam, bam.
Oh, it's his first time on the tub actually, because we had boxes in here earlier.
Okay, say bye,
Ta-da.
Cyrus. Wait, you didn't even do the outro. Do the outro.
Yep. That's it for today's episode, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. Comment cat if you want to see Cyrus in more of the videos. Comment anything. Please. We'll see you next time. Bye.